that out.
3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Server Restart In. It's a weekly World of Warcraft podcast with three opinionated players who like to get together to discuss their thoughts about the current state of the game. My name is Jim. I'm joined by Kristen.
Hello.
And Brian.
Hi.
And we are just a little over a week into 2 weeks, I guess, into Dragonflight. The raid has come out, along with the Mythic raid. Mythic Pluses have come out. Basically, Season 1 all started. It looks like there's been a few kills on the Mythic circuit for World First. Not that it matters, because who really gives a damn? It's not... The race thing is just kind of, for me. But we did some Mythic Plus runs on, was it Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday. It had to be Tuesday, because Monday it wasn't out. And it's interesting.
It was interesting because the Mythic 2 that we did was easier than the Mythic 0 that we did. And I could not have been gearing it. No. Because we went with a tank who was, what was he, like 330 something?
340s.
No.
330s, 340s, something like that, yeah.
And I didn't have any problems keeping him up.
Well, it was the Noduk offensive or whatever. It was the Centaur dungeon. And Mythic 0, it was punishing as hell. Part of it was because we didn't really know how to deal with the mechanics on the bosses. But, I don't know. It was fine. We ended up, I think, timing a 5 by the end of the night. And we did the Jade Temple, or Temple of the Jade Serpent.
That one was terrible.
They changed everything for Mythic. They changed the way the boss fights work. And it was unexpected.
That was the one. We didn't time that one. And we ended up, but then we ended up timing the 5. So it was weird. Just that one's just going to be a. Yeah,
you just got to learn the boss things for it. So it's interesting. And then I went out the next day and did a bunch of stuff out in the world and got a shit ton of gear. So there's a lot of stuff to do out there where you can get gear. The rares, the first world boss is up, and apparently they had hot fixed them. The Dungeon Journal says he drops 389, but apparently they upped it to 395. So if you get a piece of loot from him, it's a 395, which is insane.
I'm sorry, that's kind of dumb. It's so hard to even get to the point where you can craft the first piece of gear on the lowest quality. Like if you're not super hardcore playing.
Oh yeah, I can't craft a 389 yet.
It sucks. Like there's so much you got to jump through to get to that point. And then these things are just readily available now.
Well,
to skip over crafting completely. So did they just completely orient professions to people that don't ever want to touch advanced dungeoning and raiding? I don't know.
So some of the equipment that I have a recipe for a 389 axe that I can't craft because I don't have enough primal chaoses yet, right? But I don't have the only piece of gear I have that's higher than that is something from the world boss. Everything else is 376 ish or lower. So, and that's for lower level mythics and stuff like that, because I don't remember what the dungeons were dropping at a 5 or something like that. But I don't know. It is hard. I think they've been tweaking things to try to make the gathering and getting the knowledge better and stuff.
So what is normal incarnate? The raid incarnate.
So
whatever.
you have the the first couple of bosses are 389. There's the lieutenant bosses that are 393, and the last two bosses are 395.
Hmm.
So you know how kind of like in Shadowlands, the last two bosses had higher gear. They decided beforehand they had decided that they would add like some middle tier gear between entry first level bosses and the end bosses, so there was kind of like a more of an upgrade. So you had a chance to get even better stuff. You've progressed in. Maybe you didn't get to the end, but you got a good chunk of the way in, so it's a bit more rewarding. But I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what that raid's going to be like. But I don't know. I've been having fun flying around, doing the essentially the lore master, like completing the achievements for each zone. Unlocks, helps get the renown up for each of the factions and stuff like that. So it's a good way to get your renown up. I think I hit 11 on Valdrakken and maybe 10 or 11 on the expedition one and stuff, but I've only done the first two zones completely, like all like the little mini quest chains. I've been unlocking. I unlocked the mountain climbing quests, so that you're like that stuff. So that does the dailies.
Yeah,
those are pretty neat. And then I got the picture ones, the cartographer ones or cataloger ones. Basically, the world quest is you get on a raft and you go down and you just take pictures of shit. And
Pokemon Snap.
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much Pokemon Snap. I got a legendary picture or whatever this last one I did. So like you get like achievements for that. And I've almost maxed out that part of the tree anyway, because I've just been dumping my Dragon Isle resources into it. I only have like one.
Oh, is that what it takes to open that stuff? I just started it earlier today.
Yeah, so if you go to once you do some of the quests and then you go back to the camp, there's the initial backpack by the guy that starts the rock climbing quest. You click on it, it's basically like the box of whatever from Torghast, like those trees and stuff like that. And like this gives you a bigger film roll and like fast film reloading, so you can take a little more pictures and whatnot, and just little different things. It gives you more rock climbing.
I know I clicked on rock climbing stuff, but I didn't realize that was resources being spent either.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad it doesn't have a research time, because it's like the in BFA the guy on your boat for the Horde had like the different talents you could learn that took time to learn. Same thing with the class halls in Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just instant, which is nice. Now it's just a matter of farming the resources. Which is, I don't know, I've been having fun just going out and doing stuff. And it's just like there's not a lot of pressure, I think, to max these things out, but it's fun to just go out and do it and do the stories and fly around and go, oh, there's a treasure, let me get my shovel out and dig this shit up, because it gives you resources and can give you other things. And it's been good. I've been having a good time just sitting down. Like I can log in the morning for like half an hour or something like that, fly around, do a few quests, do some mining or whatever, and feel like I did some okay stuff, So I don't know. I've been having a pretty decent time. I enjoyed the dungeons, and it's nice because we did.
The dungeons were fun.
We did
actually.
we did Shadow Moon Burial Vault, because it's the Legion one that they have in there, which obviously haven't been in a while, but I think we +3'd that one.
Yep.
It was only a 2, but we 3-chested it basically, and and it's nice to not just have current dungeons in there.
Yeah, that's nice. Absolutely. It's nice when they can repurpose those old dungeons and make them worthwhile.
Yeah, and they did the thing like they did in season 4. They put portals to the thing. The only downside is there's 2 Legion dungeons, and they just give you a portal to Dalaran. So instead of giving you a portal that's like right near the dungeon entrance, you go to Dalaran and have to go out to the dungeon entrance. But it's looking like there's already some new stuff on the PTR that's going to be coming out soon. One of the primary things is the trading post. Have you seen anything about this, Brian?
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so basically the trading post is an alternate feature that will allow you to earn transmogs, pets, and mounts. You know, some that were from cash shop promotions. So it's another way to get some of the stuff. And like apparently these things have been in the cities for a little bit. They just haven't gone active. Like the actual little location have been in the capital cities. But I think if you log in, I think it's an account-wide currency. So you log in and I think you get half of the monthly allotment. You get like 500. And I think you can get up to 1,000 a month. And then you can do activities in the world, not just in the current expansion, but all over the place to earn the other 500 that you can get for that month. And I'm pretty sure they said it was account, the account is, or the traveler's log and all that stuff is account wide. So, you know, you get tender every month, you do the stuff in there, you know, it just looks like one of the screenshots they have, like one of the things is resurrect players, right? Gives you like 50 currency, you know, so promotes paying attention to what's going on and interacting with other people instead of just ignoring it, you know. And I can just see, you know, people getting together and go, okay, well, you die a bunch of times and I'll res you, kind of thing. And they're gonna have a rotation of items every month and whatnot. I think it's looking like we're going to get a bunch of transmog items. It looks like one of 2 mounts. One of them I think is a new mount because I think they're adding some warden stuff, like Warden of the Sun and Warden of the Moon. Like transmog stuff coming up. Which is, I'm not sure what that even means. But I'm sure there's going to be some story around it. I'm trying to like avoid spoilers, obviously, because, you know, it's not, I don't know, it's, everybody data mines shit and it's always out there and I want to just experience it. And it's funny because they obviously, so I don't know if we talked about this last week, but they had posted a developer like post blog thing talking about explaining what happened at the live launch, right? About how things went down, how they had a plan in place to open portals if the boats and stuff didn't work, which they did, and all this other stuff. And then basically it came down to the fact is that they have some encryption backend stuff that is in there to basically prevent certain plot points and whatnot from being data mined. And apparently it was, even though some things went live, it was making a bunch of calls, which is causing a bunch of lag, and basically they DDoS themselves with calls to their own systems and services. But it was an interesting read, you know, and it's just like, it's funny because like they took all these steps to plan for things and they basically shot themselves in the foot without realizing it. But even with that, I mean, they reacted really quick. You know, they identified it really quick and they worked on resolving it. So I don't think, as far as launches goes, it was that bad.
No, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, it was fine by the time I got home from work.
Yeah,
you know.
I think overall it was a pretty smooth launch. It had a hiccup, but you know.
Did you see Chris Metzen is coming back?
Yeah, they Chris Metzen, he got hired back to be part of the leadership team. He's going to be, where is it? I think. Of course, I don't have it pulled up, do I? I think it was what? He's going to be the creative director or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Which I think is good, you know. He was one of the OG guys from Warcraft back in the early 90s, and now he's back, and hopefully that'll kind of help, you know.
Motivation.
Has he been voicing Thrall the whole time, or was it somebody else?
He probably has, maybe, but
I mean,
like,
has Thrall even been around that much? No,
Well,
I
in
seriously, like,
and Shadowlands, like
oh yeah, he was in
oh, he
Shadowlands.
was just, yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
was.
think he did. I mean, but that's, you know, maybe like a side gig. You
Oh,
know.
that's right. We have to go looking for his axes.
Oh yeah,
Or his axe.
he threw his axe at
Apparently,
Helia.
he has to have that specific axe, and we have to kill a bazillion things to find it. That's right.
Like,
Green Jesus.
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. I think he's still doing the voicing of it, but I don't think that's like, yeah, that's not full time employment, obviously. But you know, and he left a while ago, but it's nice to hear that he's coming back, because you know, I mean, he wrote, I think, one of the first novels about Thrall originally, like one of like the first books you can read in the Warcraft stuff is written by Chris Metzen. You know, and it was it Blood and Honor, or For Blood and Honor, I think, is the one he wrote.
I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
But you know, and it was a pretty good, you know, and I don't know, it's good to hear a name that is, I think,
Recognizable.
recognizable and fairly unsullied,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't think he was caught up in any of the issues with like the Cosby Suite stuff or anything like that. You know what I
No.
mean? There's not,
Yeah, he
bad
wasn't
stuff about
mentioned
him.
in any of the stuff.
you know, which, you know, so it's good that they're bringing back, you know, somebody that people know and people like. You know, that's good. It's good public image, at least.
He voiced King Leoric in Diablo. You remember King Leoric?
Did he really?
Like the third,
Oh, I didn't know that.
third boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Huh.
That's cool.
Too bad it wasn't the Butcher. The Butcher is the iconic one.
Yeah, that's definitely the one everybody knows. It's like that's like the first main boss, isn't it? That you fight.
Ah, fresh meat. He chases you down when you shit your pants.
I'm excited about the raids. The raids look fun.
Yeah, apparently there's like a little pineapple game.
Oh my
that you can
god.
play.
I put
Do
it
the-
in the rating channel. You should totally look at it because you can learn the mechanics that way. It's kind of
It was the one that they did that with.
Yeah, they did it in Shadowlands too.
Yeah, that Shadowlands one
Yeah.
too.
The Shadowlands one was in game though, wasn't it? Is this an add-on?
No,
Or is-
this isn't
No,
an
no
add-on.
way.
It's just you click on the link and it goes to a page and
I don't remember there being one for Shadowlands that was outside of the game. I know there was an add-on, I thought, that you could do that would pull it up and you could do it that way, especially for Shriekwing.
yeah, I don't
Right.
know. But I do remember that. But this one is outside of the game.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at it, but
It's cool. I played it. I beat all the bosses, so I'm ready for the raid now.
all right. That sounds good.
Can't tell you how many times I got removed from the group because apparently when you mess up, you get removed from the group. It's like you've
Oh,
been
you-
removed from the group, but
you
I'm
get-
like, oh my god,
You got benched.
I got triggered.
Well, don't worry. I won't bench you.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
But yeah. Let's see what else. John Haidt, there was a post that he did for the Chinese players, basically saying that they're working on a tool for the Chinese player that will allow them to copy all their characters' items and progress and stuff to a personal device before the game goes out of service. So that way, because they're looking for a new publisher.
Wait, the game's going out of service in China?
Yes, they what was it? NetEase? Is that their
I don't know.
Yeah, they Blizzard and World of Warcraft, or I'm sorry, NetEase did not come to terms. So there will no longer be Chinese servers as of January 23rd.
Oh.
That partnership is ending. It's just getting shut down. They have it right now, which sucks because they get just started into the new expansion and then it's gone.
Yeah.
But they are working on a tool so that they can back up their character data.
Why they don't get? Oh, because the servers won't be storing.
They don't have the control of the servers.
Oh gosh.
So,
Wow.
I mean, but NetEase is apparently also going to, this is in addition to the stuff that NetEase is going to, they're going to lock all their stuff too and seal it so that way it's still preserved if they ever do, but they're looking with other people to distribute it so that way they can, you know, move stuff over if they need to. So at least they're doing that, you know.
That's kind of the problem with
not being able to control it.
Sure,
in other
with
countries.
yeah. Even like I buy books from somebody, and they get their books published overseas, and they had to find a new publisher because the publisher didn't want to publish their books. So, you know, because it was just not something that they were comfortable publishing, I guess. So anyway, that kind of sucks because like that's what happens when you outsource is you don't have any real control over.
Well, I don't think Blizzard had a choice but to outsource to China just because of the way their
because
media
of
stuff
the way,
works.
yeah.
I think it was China itself, actually. Like,
Yeah.
But-
Sure, of course, that's what I know, but it sucks, you know.
It's good though that they're at least trying to do something so that hopefully they will be able to transfer stuff, save stuff, you know, and you know, I mean, at least keep our gold farmers from just being completely obliterated.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Blizzard are the gold farmers now. Have you not bought a token?
I have never bought a token.
I have never bought a token either.
Yeah.
But
So what the hell are you
me
talking about?
neither.
Are you? I've never bought a token with money, and I've never bought a token with gold. So,
yeah, I
But-
haven't either.
oh, that's
Oh, I
both.
take that back.
Okay.
I've given people gold to buy tokens,
yeah.
but I haven't actually bought one for myself.
So in patch 10.0.5, which is what's on the PTR, which is where the trading post is coming, probably the biggest thing ever to come is being released, and that would be the ability to transmog white and gray items.
Finally, I have all these stupid white and gray items
That's
that
interesting.
a whole
What?
bunch of them dropped, and
So what they say is that if you currently possess the items, they will become bind on equip, and you'll just need to equip them to attain the appearance. If you don't have it in your inventory when the patch goes live, you'll have to get them again. So,
of course,
which I mean, is what it is, right? But at least they're putting it in, which is going to give a whole new set of tasks for people to do. That people that are completionists, going back to old content, farm trash.
yeah.
That's really cool because it's like the
Oh yeah,
the ninja mask from like Burning Crusade, the
all
Draenor Islands. That's where this come from.
all
Yeah.
kind of shit, all kinds of shit. And just think, you can have just like shitty, like crappy, you know, like worn down pieces of armor set. You know what I mean? Like you can just have garbage looking armor.
You can totally look like you're not the hero of
Yes.
Azeroth or the Mawwalker, or in your case, the Veil Strider.
Yeah, and somebody said finally now I'll be able to look like the murder hobo I am.
Exactly.
Apparently somebody's been saving Bud's Guise of Zulaman, which is like one of those paper troll masks.
Funny.
Yeah. You know, it's just like, so it will be, I think that's good, you know, and it's like, I think it's probably something that people have kind of wanted for a little bit, you know, and I think it's, it'll be fun. It'll be good. You know, it's like, it makes it feel less punishing because because gray items don't sell for, you can't vendor them for a lot. It's also going to create a new market because these things are now going to be possibly, if it's a rare gray item and somebody doesn't want to farm it, you can sell that shit on the auction house. Yeah, that will be.
And they do have like the funnest items are gray and white.
Yeah.
They really are.
They really need to update their textures on them, though.
Well, the newer ones are going to have good textures.
Yeah.
Like the old stuff.
The old stuff, though.
Fuck. That's the problem, right? Is that there's just so much old armor that just it used to look like badass, right? And then now, as everything's gotten more and more like high definition, it's just kind of fallen by the wayside. It just doesn't look that good anymore.
No.
You know, but there's going to be a lot of class tuning with that patch, it looks like. Oh, I read an interesting article. So there, for a while there was, people were saying that the drop percent for like the heavenly black onyx serpent that dropped from the Shaw of Anger was like 100% or got upped or whatever. And I read this article that talked about how it was initially broken when it first came out. So like you had a 1 in 60 chance, you had a 60% chance of getting gold. So you had a 40% of getting loot. And then when you got loot, you had a very slim chance of getting the mount. Well, apparently it was weighted incorrectly, so it was effectively 0, so nobody was getting the mount. And then they fixed it. Well, evokers come out, right? And so evokers were going over to the Shaw of Anger and killing it, and they had a 40% chance of getting loot. They had no loot on the loot table. So the only thing that they could get
Was gold?
was the mount.
Oh, shit.
So they've since fixed it, because obviously it would be really shitty for whatever, but like it.
How long did it take them to fix it?
I think by the time it was discovered what the problem was, and the WoW and like an article went up about it, within hours it was fixed.
But an article went up about it.
Right, but like by the time people saw it and logged in, it had already been fixed.
I'm just wondering because, you know, it took forever for alchemy to get, you know.
Yes, they did. They did
know.
hot fix the alchemy stuff to make it less likely to explode and to fix the issues so that you still got stuff for.
I do want to say they said that you're not going to be able to, you won't explode immediately after doing a liquid courage, which is what had been happening. Well, you don't explode immediately after, but you explode the next one after. So it's not immediately after.
You can't.
But...
you cannot explode twice in a row.
Yeah.
So if you reduce the cooldown and
It
do
gets
it
rid
and
of the
do it
cooldown.
again,
Yeah.
right? The liquid courage gets rid of the cooldown, lets you do it again.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed at least one.
Yeah.
And
but it didn't increase your. It doesn't increase your skill.
I think it probably only skills you up to a certain point, and if you're past that, you don't get skill ups anyway.
I'm stuck at 94. Like
right, but I think what it is that it used to be, you know, when you first learn it, it's like orange, right? And you guaranteed to get a skill point, and it slowly goes down and then becomes like a gray item in your thing, so you don't get skill points anyway. So I think you're past the point of that making a difference.
Yeah.
But so that was all about. You know, there was a bug with that where people found a way to circumvent the cooldown. But that's not the only thing. Apparently, there was a bug for Azure Weave and Chrono Cloth, which was kind of the same thing. And they started banning people for it.
But they didn't ban anybody for the alchemy thing.
I don't know.
It doesn't make that makes zero sense.
I don't know if because the alchemy thing was a known issue and then was identified and turned off, that it, you know, people weren't doing it after that type of bug became known, right? But now that type of bug is known, and now, but they suspended a bunch of people based on how much they did it, and then they investigated it immediately and made a determination that some people weren't actually exploiting it intentionally, so they rolled back a lot of the bans and stuff like that. So, you know, it initially went whatever. So, I mean, I don't know.
It's stupid.
It's dumb. They're dumb. You know, but
I did finally get my Feldrake though.
Yeah, that, you know, the Twitch stuff finally made its way through that you got like weeks ago.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so riddle me this. I'm looking at one of the Mythic rating people, and they have a 4-piece tier set already.
Yes.
How is that possible?
what they did was they ran splits. So if you were doing normal and heroic, you had where you would have people were paying or getting paid or whatever to go in,
Yeah.
and then basically give them the loot.
Yes.
It's the normal stuff, right?
Yes.
That they do.
It's just
But
they had to
do
be
it.
they had to be more not sneaky because they weren't sneaky about it, but they had to be
Discerning?
more. Well, no, they had to be more creative about it because it wasn't them just buying BOEs. Just hey, come to our server and we'll or blah blah
Right.
blah.
Yeah, because there's no BOEs, so you can't buy BOEs to get a leg up
Yeah.
on things. So it's only getting gear from the other raids, and with it being and basically what they were doing, I guess, running as many characters as they could,
Yeah.
because everybody that does this stuff has like 3 or 4 characters that they'll run through this stuff, and whichever one ends up the highest gear, that's the
That's
one
the
they
one
use.
they play, which is crazy to me.
I can't fathom that. That would be
I
like
know.
me spending all my time gearing up all my death knights to find the one that ends up at the highest gear level
Yeah.
and playing that one.
Yeah. That's
like-
what they do.
I have too many death knights for that. That's not feasible.
Yeah, you do
Like
have to.
4 maybe would be something that people would do, but like that whole concept, I just hate.
I know.
I hate it. It's just like
It feels like it takes a lot of the fun out of the game, but people have fun in different ways. People
they're
enjoy
getting paid
that.
to do that. I mean, that's like at that point in time, that's a job.
Well, sure.
And it's just like, and this isn't like, I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. It's dumb. They're dumb. It shouldn't be a thing. They should just not let these people play the game anymore.
Well, no. I mean, I think it's interesting
so
to watch.
it's so odd because at that point, like the race to world first isn't really a race to world first. There's only a select amount of guilds that are going to be able to function that way
Yeah.
to be competitive. So the fact that like Blizzard still supports it in that manner,
Well, they
is
don't actively
dumb.
support it, like, but they don't detract from it either. You know what I mean? It's like, it's definitely not sponsored. They still allow it to happen because it's just the way the game works. But you're right. It's not
I'm about to say, like, I mean, you support it if by default.
support by omission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. But you're right. It does take it out. It's like it meant something
Yeah.
to be world first, right? Back in the day, it meant to be the first person it meant something to get an unholy ash bringer or whatever from like Naxxramas back in the day. It was super rare. It was rare to do this, but like when
it's not even really that level of awkwardness. I think it's more like since they introduced personal loot and the fact that you can kill bosses again without getting loot, introduced this weird situation that they probably didn't really prepare for, and then aren't bothering ever to address.
well,
Because it is it's just a skanky way of operating.
well, it's,
and then just riding the coattail of an event that people seem to like, but the reality is it is not diversified in any way.
no, it's always it's the same 4 or 5 guilds every time that are doing it, and it's one of those that's going to do it. And the only thing that's interesting about it is watching the different guilds involved collapse when somebody in there did something shitty and somebody covered it up, because
Yeah.
it just goes to show how like haphazardly created these things are, and how like they're like pop-up businesses. They're all like startups, right? That don't have any experience like running a business. They're gamers trying to run a business without the business acumen, right? Which means like they don't necessarily have HR. They don't necessarily have all that stuff. And like it's just a bunch of gamers. That's why you had that one guild that fell apart, because of like the sexual allegations of the one guy against the one guy, and that was a thing. And it was shitty, but it's because they when you start businesses with friends and it grows to that thing and you try to stay friends and it stops being a business, and you never allow it to get to the point where it's a business and you put aside your personal feelings and your friendship for somebody, that's the problem. You know what I mean? You know, without having that sense of exact, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Like, it's a separation.
Yeah.
You have to be able to separate the friend from the business. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that kind of stuff is not easy to do, especially when you're trying to do it playing a game and having fun, you know, or whatever. It's so, I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, you're right. It stops being fun when you're just watching the same two guilds try to get it, you know. And yeah.
Yeah, it's odd because like I'm still very much trying to dig my way out of the abundance of quests in the world. I'm still trying to work my way through all of the professions and stuff. And so like, and the problem is like, it's not that I feel like it's blocking me from enjoying the game, but to each their own, right? But then like, I can't really go look at news or see WoW on Twitch without seeing that shit. And so like it's right in front of your face everywhere you look for WoWish stuff right now. And I know it's always this way, the beginning of a patch or season they call them now and all that other garbage, but it's just like it's so hard to believe like the game came out barely 2 weeks ago, and you know things feel, I know it's not over, right? But it gives a sense of feeling like it's the good time's over already. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. That's like the profession stuff. I'm really salty about it because I love the systems, you know?
Yeah.
Even looking at the crafting orders, man, it breaks my heart because
nobody uses it.
I know it's not going to get better. It's just it's a system that was way over engineered for the first step.
Yeah.
And like what they really should have done was create specifically for this, and that's a tangent, I apologize, but they really should have created NPC orders that you could fulfill.
They kind of do. Like there's a weekly quest to like, oh, you need to make a few things.
There's
right.
one.
I know. But yeah, you're right. It's like they changed
because they give you 20. They give you 20 a day you can do. So
they give you 20 a day that you can do. I've never seen more than 5 or 6 up at any given time. It's all stuff I can't make because it's all people looking for PvP gear, which are recipes I don't have.
I saw 2 one day, and it was advanced recipes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I posted one in the guild yesterday. Or today, I don't remember, but
I didn't take a look. But again, people aren't necessarily used to looking at that. I think that they have changed it though, that you can access the crafting order stuff not just in the main city, because I'm out in like Azure Span, and it's popping up.
Yeah.
Like I'm at one of the camps and there's like a forge and I click on it and the crafting order stuff works. It used to be like not available. So at least you can do that if you're out. But yeah,
it sucks as it is an awesome system. You know, even the professions they're really great systems, but
it's such a change that people aren't.
You have this layer of new WoW, right? And on top of that, parallel, whatever you want to call it, there's still that layer of old.
Yeah.
Of dungeons, mythic dungeons, raiding. And so like it really feels like the expectation is you're either a casual player that does not raid and does not do mythic or higher, and then you can do all this other stuff and be progressive.
Yeah.
Or you're the old way and you can just do that shit and be done.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels bad because I want to do both and not feel so salty about it.
The hard thing is that we've been in the old way of WoW where it's not really been a thing, and like it's like the mindset.
I know, but that's what I mean. They put so much fresh stuff in it. Like I want to live in it as much as possible, and like I don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe we need. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah.
I don't mean to be pissy about it, and I know it's kind of dumb to consider, like to have that perspective, really, because Like other people's shit shouldn't bother you, but when you're in an MMO, it does, right? Because like, why be intentionally behind the curve of everything going on just for the sake of sucking it in? It's a false sense of, I don't know, I would say progression, but I guess it's not. It just feels odd. I don't know. It's really hard. It's like trying to not look at stuff still feels weird, because like before the expansion, when it first started, that made sense. But like 2.5 weeks in, I'm like, I should be able to go check my news and not feel like I'm going to be spoiled by everything, or see that every inch of the expansion's already just been exposed
out
and completed. Yeah, like
I'm definitely not looking at much news. Like I didn't know that there was even stuff on new stuff on the PTR. Like every now and then I'll see something. I saw the Chris Metzen news. I think Kristen saw the Trading Post thing and pointed that out, which I thought was that's good to know that that's coming, because that's not really,
it's not impactful,
spoilery or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's a new thing that's in there that is.
I don't mean really stuff like that. It's just a matter like stuff that's unfolding in the expansion, as it is.
Oh yeah, I don't go to Wowhead.
Yeah.
Just because
like
I have embraced the so I know Jim and I were talking about this before, just between the two of us when we were talking about Final Fantasy versus WoW, right? Final Fantasy doesn't have any of the data mining stuff. Doesn't have any of it. Like they frown on it severely, because if you go in and start messing with the data mining stuff, and you start posting spoilers, you're ruining the whole story. And it's a very story-driven game, right? So, the main goal of that is the story. It's not the Secret Keepers thing like, we have in WoW and, all of that stuff. The main point of it is the story. So they are like, no, we don't want you to do that. So they lock it down, and they don't make it easy to do that. Whereas WoW seems to embrace it as, hey, this is hype for whatever we have going on, and I think it loses something.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of that, you don't.
There's no sense of mystery.
There's no sense of mystery. There's no sense of, you go into a town and you see somebody with a cool pet or something, and you're like, oh hey, where did you get that pet? Because you already know, because it's on Wowhead. You already know the steps that you have to do to go get this mount. You already know, like the hive mind. You already know all of that stuff because it's laid out there for you. And
like you could just ignore those things and be fine. Is kind of an idiotic take.
You shouldn't have to.
It's not. You shouldn't have to.
Yes.
No, you should be able to be in completely involved in the game and socially, like online as well.
Yeah.
Without being like, here, oh, you love the game? Well, here's the tips and tricks guide completely for you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine every game that you buy back in the 90s? Like,
yeah. Oh my God. Do you remember like the strategy
shit, right?
guides?
Like, yep.
Yeah.
I had the WoW one. Not gonna lie, I had the WoW one in vanilla. Oh my God.
I know it's the internet. I know it's going to be like it's going to get to the critical, the path of least resistance is going to be taken, and everything's going to be overly exposed as soon as possible. That's how the internet works.
Yeah.
That's fine. But there's just like, it's really hard to see a game try to evolve itself and then like it's going to inherently fail because it's trying to address too many weird problems or wrong problems at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, there's a thing to do for everyone. But yeah, like
it's not
that's
yeah. Well, again, like they tried to do a mix of both, right? They want the data mine hype, they want the mounts to get out, they want the gear sets to come out.
I don't think they could live without the data mine hype,
right?
To be honest.
But they also don't want it all, because they don't necessarily want like bosses and stuff like that or other things. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, and they try to do it, which is what caused the launch issues, right? They have some of the encryption stuff in there because they don't want it all out. So I think they definitely need to dial it back. And I wish just the WoW community was just less hungry for that kind of stuff, because it's like you said, the WoW community doesn't want to discover it. They want to know how to do it, and they want to be able to just go look it up and go do their stuff. I have been just going out. I've been doing quests. The only thing...
Well, it's more of like, it feels like there's just more of a, you know, I gotta be better than this other person type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like there's only one way to go. You know what I mean? Like,
what did we read? We saw something somewhere. I don't remember if we read it somewhere or what. And it was some guy talking about his experience and about how he got a rare mountain drop, and he was on it, and somebody was...
Oh my God, yeah.
And he's like, my whole new thing in WoW is to go to these locations where these rare mount drops are.
Oh my
and
God,
to
it was
sit...
Preach. It was Preach.
Oh yeah, he read a drama
time. Yeah.
Thing, and like the whole thing was, I'm just gonna sit here on this mountain
To
that's really
discourage
rare.
people from getting these mounts,
To
and that's
feel
how you
better.
keep them rare. Yes. Yes.
That you're never gonna be a part of this club
Yep.
that I'm in, and to like dishearten people because they go in thinking they're gonna get it and they don't get it, and
Yeah.
then they stop trying to farm it because they don't get it after a couple tries, and they see all these people on it and they think, well, I'm never gonna get it, and it's just like creating like this weird dichotomy of like rarity by disappointment or something like that. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Like, holy cow.
the Preach guy himself did this?
No, it was a drama time story somebody sent.
Yeah,
in.
it was a drama time. He didn't do that.
Oh.
People sent
Somebody,
in,
somebody sent in the story.
I think somebody made that up. I honestly,
I would hope.
I've never seen that.
No.
As many times as I did ICC, I've never seen a single person sitting outside on Invincible. So
I guess they figure that one is just a lost cause.
Well,
Everybody has that one now.
It's invisible, Jim.
oh, that's right. You can't see Invincible.
That's
My
right.
bad.
That's right.
All right.
What
Well,
were you
that's
thinking?
enough. I think we're going to go ahead and we're just
On
going to go
that.
ahead and end it on that note. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Hope everybody's having a great time with the new expansion, however you choose to play it. You know, because there's all different kinds
There's
of things.
no wrong way
you know,
to play it.
hopefully, yeah, there's no wrong way to play it except for the way that I don't like. So you can check us out at facebook.com/server restart in. Shoot us a tweet at server_restart, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.